So welcome for class this morning. I was feeling particularly excited to come because I saw my teacher from Mysore this morning. He was on Zoom, of course. I was not in Mysore. We had an early morning time with him, which is evening for him, but morning for us. And I was just feeling the connection back to my teacher. I wanted to bring that to our class this morning. So my intention for our practice this morning is going to be to continue in this conversation about the word daya, which means compassion or mercy. I also want to prepare us for a little longer pranayama practice like we did last weekend. So please take a comfortable seat. You can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. Yourself arrive whatever you are coming to class from, whatever the activities were. Sometimes when we first take a seat and we come to our mats, there's a sense of what has been in your kind of surround sound in your mental awareness, but not on your like conscious radar screen. You might find yourself filtering through some of those things and setting them aside. Or you take your seat and you realize actually that your body has some aches and pains, or you're feeling in a particular way that you hadn't already registered this morning. So with whatever you're noticing, with whatever comes into your awareness, see if you might greet it warmly, respectfully. You could ask yourself when you have a certain this or that thing arising, like a thought, an emotion, a sensation. You could ask yourself, what is your relationship towards that thought, that emotion, that sensation? How are you feeling towards it? Not what do you think about it, or where did it come from, or what can you do about it, but how are you feeling towards it? What is your relationship with it? That's setting aside what is not relevant for your practice, but keeping an inner attitude of respect towards whatever might arise. Let's now deepen the breath. So the inhale and the exhale become each smoother and longer. Please raise your hands to your heart. We're going to be chanting Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sat Chidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. May this practice remind us of our deepest indwelling teacher, that teacher that is sourced from truth, wisdom, and bliss. And may the practice help us to overcome or eradicate our difficulties and to return to a sense of peace and luminosity. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. May you bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes. So thank you for sharing part of your morning with me. I am glad to be here. And again, sorry for my delay. The householder life, when there's kittens, sometimes there's a little bobble along the way. So when we're talking about what is arising, the mind, the emotions, the thoughts, the sensations in the body, the 6 stations of the mind, as some of you heard me talk about, past and future, self and other, likes and dislikes. When that stuff is arising on the radar screen, one sign of our progress on the path of yoga is our relationship towards those things, our relationship with. So not against, not in aversion, nor in clinging, but our relationship with the stuff that's coming up. Neck ache, migraine, stubbed toe, irritation, apprehension, delight, anticipation, whatever those things are that are coming. Thoughts of dread, thoughts of getting it all done, thoughts of never getting it all done, whatever those things are. What we're really looking through in yoga is, what is my relationship with that stuff? And do I know myself to be this kind of central presence that is having these experiences and can have a relationship with those experiences from the lens of, let's say, compassion or acceptance or discernment? Not that we're getting caught up in or in the spin cycle with those experiences. So keep observing this morning your relationship with the things that may arise during class. So that being said, I would like us to start with the 2 folded blankets and 1 block. So if you'll position your 2 blankets like a bolster, so you can place them on your mat to go across horizontally like this. And then a block for your head. When you lie down, lie on your back with your knees bent and place your head back on the block so that your arms are cascading towards the floor, so that really the end of the blanket, if you were to make a cross section of the body, the edge of the blanket is at the top of the shoulder blade. So the roundness of the shoulder joint is rolling down towards the floor. You can lay the arm out in a T shape, but you can also take it back towards cactus pose. You can close your eyes and imagine from the center line of the body, there's a quality of sort of melting the habit of tension. So over your forehead, towards your temples, from the bridge of your nose, over the eyes to the corners of the eyes, over your cheeks, towards your ears, and from the center line of the nose, across the upper lip, across the upper jaw, to the hinge of your jaw, and also from the lower lip and the lower jaw, over along your jawline. Let there be this sense of softening or melting left to right. And let that continue down the center line of the throat towards the sides of your neck. And then over the collarbones, left side, right side, to your shoulders and flowing out towards your thumbs. And keeping a sense of that kind of ease. Lift your head and turn to your right. So pick up your head, rotate your nose to the right. Lengthen your left arm to the left. You can make it more active, like the letter T. Reach out from your heart to your fingertips. And as you're turning your head to the right, close your eyes, but turn your eyes even further to the right than your head is going. Keeping your head turned to the right, relax the eyes. And raise your left arm up like a snow angel alongside your left ear. Keep your head turned to the right and turn your inner gaze to the right again. Now roll your left arm, your head, and your eyes to center together. Hi, Bindi. You're welcome to be here. You made a mess, but you're not in trouble. Turn your head to your left, please. And as you turn your head left, go ahead and close the eyes. Reach your right arm actively to the right. And as you're rotating like this, think of the length of the right arm from the center of the sternum. Keep your eyes closed and look a little further to your left than your head can turn. And then relax your eyes and inhale, take your right arm like a snow angel up alongside your right ear. Rotate your eyes again to the left. And then bring your eyes and your head and your right arm all back to center at the same moment. Now let's take the block and place it down on the flat setting. So down one height from where it's been. While you're inhaling, this will be called our center spot. With the exhale, keep your head centered. Turn only your eyes to the right. Inhale your eyes to center. Exhale, eyes to your left. Inhale the eyes to center. Exhale, eyes to your right. Inhale your head to your right. Exhale, turn your head to center. Keep your eyes to the right. Inhale your eyes to center. Exhale, eyes to your left. Inhale your head to your left. Keeping your eyes left, rotate your head to center. Inhale your eyes to center. We'll do that one more time. Notice the quality of concentration that is needed. Also practice with a confidence or a curiosity about what is the impact for your brain. And so we'll inhale when the eyes and the head are centered. Exhale, turn only your eyes to the right. Inhale your head to the right. Keeping your eyes right, bring your head to center. Inhale your eyes to center. Exhale, eyes left. Inhale your head left. Exhale, eyes left while your head comes to center. Inhale your eyes to center. And relax the mind and your eyes. Stretch your legs out straight. Interlace your fingers and take the arms overhead. So nice big stretch there. We're working with your vagus nerve in that process and also with your bilateral hemispheric brain. So take a deep breath in, please. And then exhale, sweep the arms wide into a T shape, bend your knees. And now let's take both knees up and over to the left. Try to stack your right knee on your left knee. Reach the right arm long in the other direction and turn your nose to your right. So this twist is elevated by the two blankets under the shoulder blades. And as you reach through your right arm, imagine rolling the right shoulder down towards the floor. It's not likely to make it. It's only the word imagination. Imagine it rolling down. Actively lengthen your right thigh to meet your left thigh. Now inhale, turn your eyes to the right, further than your head can go. And then exhale your head to center, keep the eyes to the right. And inhale your eyes and your knees to center. Relax. Now we're going to go the other way. So knees over to your right, which means the left knee has to go up and over. So the left thigh is actively reaching out to match the right thigh. Turn your head to your left. And so with your inhalation, turn your eyes to the left farther than your head can go. One more time, inhale your eyes, stay left. Exhale your head to center, the eyes stay left. And then inhale your eyes and your knees together, come to center. And exhale to relax. And come over to your side and rise up to sitting. Okay, let's put the two blankets to be for the knees and two blocks for the hands. Like this. When we put the knees up on the blankets, it means that in child's pose, the hips will be lower than customary, and the knees and the hips may actually be knees higher than the hips. So separate the knees, walk your hands forward. And in this child's pose, your head's not going to reach the floor, right? So it's going to be elevated. Lift the base of your skull. Close the eyes. With your next inhale, press down into your knees and hands and roll into cat pose. And then exhale to cow pose. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. Exhale, press into cat pose. Use the right arm strongly. Return your left hand to the block. Inhale, right arm forward, gaze forward. Exhale, press with your left hand, return to cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. And then exhale, glide your hips forward and come into this variation of seal pose. Stay for a few breath cycles. So your knees are higher than your feet. Press the tops of the feet down. Press your shins down. Raise your heart. Roll your shoulders back. Raise up through the crown of your skull. And breathe in one more time. And exhale, press into cat pose. And inhale, reach back to child's pose. Stay for the exhale. Walk your hands back to your knees. Scoop the blankets forward and come to Vajrasana. And see if you can sense the center presence that you are, whatever might be arising, like maybe contentment or awe or curiosity or frustration, whatever is coming. What is your attitude towards it? Like permission or allowance, maybe intrigue. Take the top blanket now and fold it until you have the smallest, how shall I say it? It depends on your kind of blanket. So I'm doing mine 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I roll it to make this roll like kind of ropey, I guess you could say. And that's where your belly button's going to go. So place the belly button and come onto your forearms. So when the belly button is on this blanket roll, you want that blanket roll, you rolled it to be narrow enough that it's between your floating ribs and your hip bones. It's neither pressing into either the floating ribs nor the hip bones. Depending on your level of ease here, you're going to stay up on your forearms where you have some of your body weight in your arms, but others are going to come down to the back of the hands with the head. And you are putting pressure on the navel, right in the center of the abdomen. So we want to be able to breathe easily and comfortably, and that's probably going to be your relationship with the sensations will make a big difference there. For some of you, you're a regular practitioner of this, or this is not new to you, or you're having an easeful time. So you could also bend the knees and just rock the shins a little bit side to side. And so what happens there is you're then kind of massaging across the abdomen because the movement of the shins moves the lower belly. It's okay if you're moaning a little bit, I can't hear you. And let's bring it back to center. Touch your shins down. Come back to your forearms if you went down to the back of your hands. Bring your blocks back into view. Press yourself up to table pose. And come back to Vajrasana, neatening your blankets because you're going to use them again. So, and then again, notice what is your relationship with the sensations that are coming and with that release. So there's an overall, it's a cleansing practice. It is a release practice. What happens for you in that sense of release? Now let's see how that influences us when we come into the sequence we just did. So place your knees up on the 2 blankets, reach back to child's pose. Okay, inhale, roll up to cat pose. Exhale to cow pose. You can open your eyes, look forward. Inhale, raise your left arm. Press into your right arm firmly. Exhale to cat pose. Press down through the right arm as your left arm returns to support your cat pose. Inhale, take the right arm forward, cow pose. Exhale, press down through the left arm, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, glide your hips forward to this version of seal pose. So press down with the tops of your feet, press down with your knees, raise the heart up, lift your shoulders up and back. Reach up through the crown of your skull. And then inhale, lift your hips and roll yourself back to child's pose. This time for child's pose, place your elbows in front of the two blankets and put one block for your head. So this is also a cleansing practice right here. We have some pressure with the thighs against the abdomen. So when the breath comes down to the belly, you want to have a sense your breath can expand in the pelvis, the side waist, back waist, the abdomen. And on the exhale, that you could release the habit of holding tension. So when there's compression, as there is right now, in the hip joints, we also have compression for the knees. And therefore, less blood supply makes it down to the feet. So your body is prioritizing the blood supply in the core of the torso right now. I'm going to ask you to follow me to a position that we don't do very often, but it's a really good flushing position now, having had compression. Rise up to kneeling. Put your hips on your blankets. Lie on your back. And take the legs out straight. So it's really helpful here when you take the legs out that you don't have the blankets too high up on the back of your sacrum. This should not feel like you're tipping your lower back excessively, but rather that you're opening the front of the hips, the pelvis, the lymph, the upper inner thighs, the deep inner belly. You might be able to feel that pulsation going down the legs for a few moments more. Your body will have a strong and then ever normalizing response. So it'll end up integrating into the other sensations of your body. Now, please bend each knee. Put a block within reach because you're going to need a little extension on your blankets. Right, so this will be a cleansing practice as well. So please bring your knees up to your chest and then let them drop in towards your shoulders. So each knee towards its own shoulder. And then we're going to be rolling left to right, a little twist. It's called Jittara Parivartanasana. You don't have to know how to say it to do it. Okay, so on the exhale, take both knees to your right. You may have a block there that tells you you don't have to go any lower than that. On the inhale, bring your knees to center. Exhale, both knees to your left. Inhale to center. Now exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale to center simultaneously. Exhale, knees left, nose right. Inhale, center, knees and nose simultaneously. Continue. Now, if you have really smooth sense of the breath and an even quality to the inhale and the exhale, and if you know that you have the inner core cohesion for it, you can take the blocks away. And so as the knees go down to the right or the left, they'll go a little bit lower than your hips are. But if you don't have a sense that your lower back is really stable or you have a good inner sense of cohesiveness, then keep the blocks there. And as you're going side to side, try to synchronize the return of the knees and the nose each time. So you inhale, the nose travels at the pace of the knees, not the knees at the pace of the nose. The nose has an easier job. Let's go to each side one more time, please. Time your nose to go with your knees. Make the head aware of the body. And then exhale, touch your feet down, keeping your hips supported. Stretch the legs out again. You could take the arms overhead in this kind of box shape if you'd like to. There's a cleansing response going on right now. And sometimes when we're cleansing, is a feeling of like flushing some stuff up to the surface before it dissipates. And that's where you might have sensations or thoughts or emotions. What is your relationship with or towards those sensations or emotions? Please bend your knees. Lift your hips and put your two blankets aside. Come down to this really simple position to pause a moment and see if you can connect with, if you're not already connected, to the indwelling you that is innately compassionate and merciful. So whatever is arising, you can be with it in its sort of raw and open form. Notice your relationship towards the arisings. Some of the ways that you find yourself relating are like, you feel irritated, you feel inconvenienced, you feel disappointed, to have some painful thought, emotion, or sensation. If that's what's happening, we call that the second arrow. We have the experience and then we feel towards it. We might feel irritated or judging or resistant. That's called the second arrow. And you could imagine not needing to add the second arrow. Please roll to your side and come up to table pose. Place your hands in table pose now, like this. And then step your right hand well forward of your left hand. And press your fingerprints down as you reach your hips back, lower your left elbow to the floor, relax the weight of your head. As you reach back with both hips, pivot your shins and your feet to the left so that your right hip reaches a little further back and you start sensing the right side waist and the right lower back. Then press down for your right hand, swivel your feet to center, and inhale up to table pose. Okay, let's take the left hand forward of the right, well forward. Reach your fingerprints and your thumb into the floor. Lower your right elbow, relax the weight of your head. Pivot both feet and both shins to your right. As you reach back with your hips, you'll notice the left side waist, perhaps the left lower back. Just notice your relationship towards those sensations. Your inhale, bring your shins to center, press into your right hand and return your left hand. Curl the toes under and reach into downward facing dog pose. As you reach back in dog pose, make both arms steady and stable. Press into all 4 fingers and each thumb. And lengthen your hips back away from your hands. Okay, with an inhale, come forward to plank pose. And in plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. Okay, and then exhale, momentarily touch both knees down. Inhale, raise back up to plank. Exhale, lower both knees. Inhale to plank. Exhale, touch the knees down like they're little bitty dragonflies, just touching the water ever so lightly. Inhale to plank. And then once more. And inhale to plank. And we're going to exhale to downward facing dog pose. And then please lower your knees down so you can watch me here. I'm going to demonstrate where we're going. I'm also going to put my blankets aside because they're going to be in my way. Good thing I was looking where I was going. Okay, so some things we're doing in class are familiar, some things are new. You get to see how your mind responds to the new and the adventuresome or the unknown, also to the familiar. Right now when we come down, we're going to come down from dog pose to plank, and it's going to be a smooth movement. We're going to take both knees to the side and lower the outer hip down. So you're going to stretch the side of the waist here, keep the right arm straight and strong, and then we're going to go back up to plank pose. And then we go down to the other side. So you're going to be putting the outer left hip down. You'll feel the side of the waist, keep the left arm straight and strong, and then back up to plank pose. So reach into dog pose to get your distance first. And as you breathe in dog pose, since you don't know what it's going to feel like yet to do the activity, notice how you're already anticipating, maybe delight or intrigue or I don't know, boredom, whatever's coming up. Okay. And then with your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. And exhale, knees shift down to the right, to the left, come to your outer right hip. Inhale, raise up to plank pose. Exhale, knees right, bring your left hip down. Inhale, up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Repeat, inhale forward. Exhale, knees left, right hip down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees right, left hip down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, please, inhale forward. Exhale, knees left, right hip down. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees right, left hip down. Inhale to center. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, touch your knees down and please come to Vajrasana. And notice, how is your mind responding? What gets flushed up? That's also a cleansing practice with the rotations and the need for core strength in the up and the down. So what's happening now? Please watch one more time. So when we come down and we've taken the knees and the hips, something like this, we're then going to take the top foot and step it backwards like this. So this is stepping into a decorative position, right? And this arm comes overhead. And then we raise up. You may feel that opening through the left hip flexors or the left hip. You might notice the strength of the right arm that's needed. When the left arm stretches, of course, you might feel the left side waist. And then we'll be coming back down and the left hand is going to try to go towards where it was picked up from. And then we'll stack and then we're going to return. Let me show you on each side in case that got confusing. Okay, so you're in plank pose. The knees come down and one hip lowers. This is my left hip. You're going to step the top foot backwards. When it comes back, the knee points like that, and we raise this arm. And then you raise your hips. And when we come down here, you're going to try to place your right hand where it was in table pose or plank pose. And then we'll stack and return. Okay. You have to get your yayas out. So this is getting yayas out. We can call it whatever we want to. So let's start in downward dog pose, please. Come into the smooth and consistent breath that you know you're able to use. And with your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. Okay, exhale, knees left, lower your right hip down. Inhale, open your left leg and your left arm. And inhale, reach your left arm overhead past your ear. Press into your right hand, raise your hips up. Stay for the inhale. Enjoy the strength of your right arm. Press down with both shins. Lengthen your left side waist. And then bring your left arm across your face and come slowly down, trying to place your left hand where it was on the floor before. Your right hip's going to come down. And then bring your left knee to your right, and let's shift plank pose. Okay, downward facing dog. Plank pose. Okay, both knees to your right. Lower your left hip down. Open your right arm and your right leg. Take the right arm overhead. And exhale, press into your left arm. Raise your hips. And then exhale, come across and aim to touch your right hand where where it was before you picked it up off the floor. Bring your right knee to your left and plank pose. And then downward facing dog pose. Okay, please walk your feet forward and your hands backwards and come into Uttanasana. Energize your legs. Relax the weight of your head. Bring the hands to the hips and please rise up to standing. And come into mountain pose. So let the arms relax. Notice again your relationship with whatever is present, whatever is surfacing. And do your best not to add the second arrow. But you're able to notice whatever is coming in kind of its raw and ephemeral state. Take a wide stance. I'm going to bring us towards what we need for shoulder flexibility for some of the pranayama. So shoulder, upper chest, and neck and throat flexibility. So come down, please, to Jittara Parivartanasana. Reach back and interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders open. Relax the weight of your head. And as you squeeze the shoulders back, open your chest and your heart forward. And forward is towards the space between your shins or your knees. The legs need to be only moderately engaged. It should not feel ferocious. But do keep the arms in your awareness so the shoulders continue to squeeze back away from the collarbones. Roll your shoulder blades up towards your hips. Imagine also opening the front of the chest so that those front ribs near your sternum can open a little bit like opening the Venetian blinds. And then please release your hands to your hips. Rise up. Okay, bring your feet together and come onto your back, please. I'd like you to have 2 blocks close by. We're going to use them for the feet. You may also want to have a yoga strap if when you try to interlace your fingers under your lower back, if that's relatively hard for you, it would be helpful to have a yoga strap. So there's a principle that we've been working with this week when we say, what are the components of daya, of the quality of compassion? And some of the key components include things like acceptance, patience, discernment, a sense of empathy. Compassion is comprised of qualities like we can accept the difficulty or the suffering that's present. We have patience for the process of resolution or transformation. We have a sense of empathy or resonance with what somebody else might be experiencing, or we can even empathize with ourselves. And discernment. We have a need for discernment with compassion so we aren't colluding or averting or clinging. So if you think of the quality of accepting whatever is present, but without patience, it's a very different experience. Or being really patient with what's happening, but having no discernment will be a very different experience also. So those qualities that make up this experience of daya, when I say, what is your relationship with the stuff that's happening for you? You could ask maybe of those specific qualities. Do I feel accepting, patient, discerning, and so on? Okay, let's take these 2 blocks, please, and put them on the flat or medium setting. I'm going to use medium because these are stable blocks and I have a lot of experience. But if you have squishy blocks, please use the flat setting. Place your feet on the block so that they are wider than your hips by just a few degrees. So not just hip width, but a little bit wider for stability. Lift your hips and then interlace your fingers under the small of your back, or hold your yoga strap. Tuck each shoulder under, and then raise your hips and your heart. Allow the breath to support you here. So you make just the amount of activity needed for the legs, the tailbone, the sacrum. Be determined with your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, start to lower your hips down, and you're going to sit your hips on the back of your wrists or forearms. So turn your palms face down. Scooch the blocks with your feet. Now, if you had a strap, you're sitting on the strap, which also secures the palms face down, wrists face down. Press into your forearms, press into your elbows. Stretch one leg straight, second leg straight, and then come into fish pose, Vajrasana. Exhale, slide the back of your head down on the floor. Release your hands and your yoga strap if you were using one. Take the arms out into Shavasana. The eyes closed. Take your gaze inside without analyzing anything. If you might extend bits of compassion here and there to any part of the body that's been in pain or felt some difficulty or challenge during the practice. Compassion towards the parts of you that are having this sort of thought or that sort of thought, or compassion towards the parts of you having various emotions in the course of your practice. It's not just acceptance without patience, nor is it patience without acceptance, or patience without discernment. Your body to deeply rest. Don't add any second arrows. You're just watching what is happening right now. Allow your body to become heavier and heavier, more deeply relaxed. Even more quiet. Lay down the arrows. No second arrow is needed. Just observe what's happening. Body to become even more heavy and relaxed. Whatever remaining tension might be there, see if it can dissolve. You're right now experiencing a healing process. So allow it to be its own intelligence. Listen to the raw expressions, the unfiltered, not colored, adding no second arrow to your experience. So keep awareness of the body being heavy. Start rotating your head very slowly to your right and your left. And then wiggle your fingers, your toes. And then bend the knees. And please roll to your side. And return to your seat for meditation. Pranayama and meditation. Set yourself up on the seat that you have appropriate support from. To your seat. Make it a comfortable upright seat. And of course, you can use blocks for your knees if you need them, or go directly to the floor. Rest your hands. Let's do palms face down on the knees. The qualities that comprise compassion, things like acceptance, empathy, patience, they're considered to be qualities that we have in the heart. The quality of discernment we would place in the third chakra, the quality of being able to have discerning attention. We're going to practice pranayama towards the heart. And then we'll also aim for the sixth chakra, so fourth and sixth. Up in the sixth chakra, we can see how our compassion could be wisely expressed. Right? So bringing awareness to the heart, please take the mudra like this with the right hand and the left. Place the right hand on the heart, left hand on the left knee. The word, the Bij mantra sound is Yam, Y-A-M. And we'll do it 5 times, and we'll do that 5 times. The M sound, the lips go between the teeth, and the vibration that you'll feel in the chamber of the throat and the mouth will be affecting the heart, the throat, your vagal tone, but also into the pituitary, behind the bones of your face, and the pineal gland. So let's begin. Yum, 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 yum. 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 Right hand down. Rest your attention in the heart. Right hand up and fold the first two fingers into the center of your palm. Place your thumb and your ring finger to open and close the sides of the nose. In Nadi Shodhana, we don't use Ujjayi breathing. We just use the regular breath. Close the right nostril, inhale left side. Close the left, exhale right. Right side, and continue at your own pace. If you're able to balance your inhale with your exhale, that is a bonus for you. Smooth and also steady. Complete with your next exhale through the left nostril. Bring your hands down to the mudra for the first chakra. And rest your mind in the space between the eyebrows. In meditation, aim to keep your mind focused at the place between the eyebrows, the sixth chakra. And now is the time to not entertain thoughts, moods, emotions, but to stay in the quiet lighthouse quality of the sixth chakra. Gaze between the eyebrows. You don't have to be forceful, but don't wander away. practice another minute here. Let this memory of meditating, this indwelling felt sense, let it go deeply into your body to be a memory you can rely upon, to be a change of infrastructure, neurologically, but also in the subtle body. Please raise your hands to your heart. Thank you very much for sharing your practice today. Namaste.